Ooh.
It started out so gentle and then threatened
Oh.
violence.
Oh!
It was
Okay.
edging...
I didn't want it to splash all over the place.
I know.
I think you wouldn't want this all over your carpet.
No, you would have to give me time to get on my knees and open my mouth, right?
Yeah, oh my
There
god.
was not enough time for that. It was quickly approaching the end. It was quickly approaching.
Okay. So I'm going to throw a fastball at you.
Oh shit, okay.
Hello, everyone. And welcome to the, do they call it a eulogy? I think they call it a eulogy.
Mm-hmm.
For when something
For when
dies,
something
right?
dies, correct, correct.
The Tomorrowverse ended, everyone.
Ooh, R.I.P.
The final film of the Tomorrowverse came out this past month.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
exciting.
It started back in the year of our Lord 2020. You know?
I love that one.
Right?
We all love that
right,
year.
Right? So for those who don't know what the Tomorrowverse is, it was an initiative that DC/Warner Brothers did where it would be a 10-movie franchise that all takes place in one universe. And the first film was Superman Man of Tomorrow, which of course came out in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Or it was 2021. It was around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been releasing 2 movies per year, roughly. With the last one coming out just this past week or so, time of recording anyway, which was Justice League: Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3.
Yep.
Right. I am not a big fan of the Tomorrowverse.
All this to say, boo, is what I said.
I don't hate the Tomorrowverse.
Right.
It is not an active dislike. It is what a cool project. It did its thing, and it is now over.
How do we feel about Part 3?
It is better than Part 2, but I don't like it as much as Part 1. But it is a good send-off for everything that came before it.
Okay.
If you've actually kept up with the Tomorrowverse, everything comes into play in this movie. The Dream Machine from the Legion of Superheroes film comes back up here.
Okay.
In the Green Lantern movie, that one, I forget what it's, Beware My Power, I think that's what it was called. Jon Stewart was the Last Lantern.
Okay.
Because of plot reasons. But he tried to restart the Green Lantern Corps at the end of that movie, and he throws up rings into the sky and they fly off. In this movie, when he's lost his ring, his powers are gone, and lanterns just show up, and he's like, what? And it's they're the lantern rings that he had thrown out during the end of his movie. So it's these are the lanterns that he fostered basically by having that willpower to restart the Lantern Corps. And as a cute thing, one of them is Aya. That was really cute. I was just
cute.
Okay, there's a lot of cute little things in the third movie. Martian Manhunter uses Warworld, the planet, to help stave off the Manhunters, because Justice League Warworld was one of the movies in the Tomorrowverse. So they're reusing that. And there's a lot of that where it's little things.
This does coalesce all to from all these movies, especially considering it was 4 or 5 years ago now.
Exactly. So if you did keep up with the Tomorrowverse, this was really cool. And you even have they use the whole multiverse thing fairly fun, because one of the films was Justice Society World War II, in which we met the Black Canary of Earth 2. And in Earth Prime, we have our Black Canary, who chronologically is the daughter of the equivalent Earth, right? So she got to meet the Earth 2 Black Canary, and she's like, oh, you're my mom, but from another universe. So she got to meet her mom kind of again.
Kind of in part 1 or part 2 where
Huntress,
Diana meets
Hippolyta. Exactly.
You're not my daughter.
Yeah, but she cares.
Yeah.
Still, it's like that. It's that. And I thought the ending was really cute. And really thematic. It doesn't have the exact same meaning that Crisis had originally, but it's doing something. It's the Tomorrowverse, and it has the same ending. Adaptation wise, it's okay, we've smashed all the Earths together, but definitely the theme and what it says is a lot different.
Yeah.
Because this one is mainly about like the idea of hope and like what is living on, because like they are told like the universe is going to collapse no matter what. Like they will not live.
Okay.
But they can go through this portal and it will kind of smash all the Earths together, and like a world will exist at the end of all of this.
Gotcha.
And you have this speech from like not Manhunter, the Spectre, where he's like, yes, if you like, Superman asks like, but will like, am I there? Will like, if I go through this portal, will I exist? Will like the world truly exist?
Mm-hmm.
And Spectre just simply says like, there will be a Superman on this Earth, you will be part of them.
Okay.
Will they be you? No. Will you be them? No.
Okay.
But there will be a Superman on this Earth.
Is this going to be so? And it's leaving it open ended, right? Like it's
it's done. Like,
okay.
Yeah. They're not continuing on.
Okay. So it's not like we're not leading into, because I know recently, and I mean, there was probably stuff announced beforehand, but I'm only really just looking into it, learning into it.
Yeah.
The Absolute Universe.
Yeah. It's not connected at all.
Okay. I didn't think so. Okay.
No.
But
we are getting more animated movies, but they're gonna tie in with James Gunn's universe, because the Gunverse is going to be like both live action and animated. That sounds
everyone
terrible.
has guns.
It's fine.
But
yeah,
three...
it's because like the Tomorrowverse was definitely like the fear and hope for tomorrow. The fact that like you won't exist in tomorrow, but you can believe in it. That's kind of like the idea.
Because tomorrow's gonna come one way.
Yes, right? Even like you won't, because like Barry's not here, right? Like Barry died in the first Crisis movie. So like, but he died believing in that belief of tomorrow. And one cool thing or not cool thing, depending on if you like this idea, one character from the previous film continuity shows up in this one, and that's Constantine.
Okay, yeah.
So this is specifically the Constantine from the previous continuity.
Yeah, because he shows up as an old man.
Yeah, and he
initially.
Yeah, and he magics himself back to normal.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like Constantine is like, we find out like, plot twist, spoilers, I guess, he created this multiverse on accident. Right.
Of course.
Right, and he's like, I literally shattered reality. Like, I'll have, like, he refuses to walk through the portal because he's like, I don't belong there. I ruined everything. Like, I don't deserve even a chance of existing in the next one. And like the Spectre goes like, I'm usually a like being of justice, of punishment, but maybe I can offer you something else today. Hope. And that's like the idea of like this ending, right?
Yeah, I like
so, like,
that.
Constantine does not go through the portal, but he offers Constantine a different form of hope to now journey with Spectre, while still giving hope to everyone else by giving them the chance of a new universe.
Okay.
Whether they truly exist there or not.
That's a good conclusion.
Yeah, it's like, I really like what it's going for, even if I didn't like love the Tomorrowverse.
It's just as a whole.
Yeah, because a lot of the movies I thought were just really lame. Like I didn't like that the Batman, they had 2 Batman films for the Tomorrowverse, and it was part 1 and part 2 of the Long Halloween.
Oh, so that was part of the Tomorrowverse.
Yeah, and I did not like those movies. The only one I really liked was, I liked 2 of them. Sadly, they were like the first 2.
Bless.
Yeah, it's like I liked like the first 2 entries in the Tomorrowverse and didn't like anything after. Very tragic. But I liked Superman Man of Tomorrow because I thought it was a great way of updating the cast of Superman, except for Superman himself. So, like, he got to stay
why
like
do you need to?
Feeling like the golden age, but everyone else got modern reinterpretations of themselves. To kind of show, like, no matter what, like, Clark is still Clark, Superman is still Superman. Lois, despite being updated, still serves the same narrative role.
Right. Okay.
And I kind of really liked that. And the other one was, like, I loved Justice Society, like, World War II. Just thought that one was phenomenal. When you rarely see the Justice Society in adaptation.
They don't get a lot of attention.
No, and I thought, like, this was, like, a great, like, versions of these characters. Like, I wasn't, like... I was sad we only got like 4 or 5 members of the Justice Society. Like, Alan Scott wasn't there.
Usually supposed to be?
It's usually double digits.
Goddamn.
Yeah, no, it's a full guys. But it's like here's Our Man, Hawkman, Black Canary, and Wonder Woman,
Okay.
and Jay Garrett as Flash, and it's like, cool. Where's the it's kind of like
Where's
where's the
everybody
run?
else?
Where's Wildcat?
I guess they just wanted to keep it trim.
Sure,
you know?
sure, yeah. I would definitely say like those two movies, and I really liked the first Crisis movie. Like part 1 of Crisis on Infinite Earths, I thought was amazing. I would recommend people to maybe check that one out. If even if you don't care about Barry, maybe that movie will make you care about Barry. I think that one's like the best adaptation I've seen of Barry Allen.
It's incredibly compelling.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that's the end of the Tomorrowverse.
Pour one out, fellas.
I hope to see what like comes next, because they want to tie in the new animated projects with the live action movies, and I'm like,
that's gonna be so interesting.
Yeah, so they're going to they're choosing actors based on both their on-screen performance and voice performance, because they want to use the live action actors in the animated projects. So they're trying, like, James Gunn did say that difficult. Like that's something that he keeps in mind when he does casting, is like whether or not they can play these characters both in animation and on screen. Which is like, that's a big ass.
That's a huge ass. That's a lot. Because like lots of surprisingly, lots of voice actors can regular act pretty decent for the most part. Because a lot of times they do get their start there and then specialize in something like voice acting. When you go from acting to voice acting, a lot of them just do not carry the necessary energy to do it.
It's unfortunate. So
I mean, I'm curious to see how it's going to go.
Yeah. I think Creature Commandos is going to be the first one. A team that, like, I'm sure all of you are familiar with.
You know, guys, Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
Obviously.
Yeah, when he pulled that one out, I was like, really? Yeah, I'm like, are we going to get a Losers movie after this as well? But please, though.
I mean, because the last time the Losers were adapted was that was like 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, they show up in the last Crisis movie.
Oh, shit.
Some dinosaurs show up, and you see these Jeeps, like, come out the time portal as well. And Lois is reporting, and she's like, because she's trying, like, as all the time anomalies and universe travels have, she's trying to report on it, because, Lois Lane.
Of course.
And she asks, like, who are these people who are trying, because it's just military soldiers, and like, oh, we've been following this squad of dinosaurs trying to keep people safe. And she asks, like, who are you? And he just turns around, just go like, we're just a bunch of losers. And then they drive off, and that's it. And I'm like, okay, but like, for the people that know, that's so cool.
That's pretty cool, actually.
There's a lot of like wink and nods like that, where it's like, the DC universe mattered. Like, and I do like that about the Tomorrowverse, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
We went through an arch.
We did. We went through it. Brian dead now.
So we maybe think.
So, yeah. As far as we know.
Yeah.
But arguably, that might be worse. like, hear me out. Considering how ghosts just kind of hang out here in this town, he's just gonna do Brian things, but in ghost form.
Yeah, he'll jerk you off.
And he'll be able to... I've got this really sharp pain of teeth clamping down on my cock. It hurts a lot, but there's no blood yet, so I'm just gonna kind of go with it.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting.
Jeez.
The terrible change comes almost exactly 3 weeks later. Cameron had been feeling strange ever since they got back home, like he wasn't quite himself. After a flurry of hospital visits, police interviews, and even harassment from the media, things have become strangely quiet. Here's a broken road. Brian Du Bois.
The boy.
Du Bois.
Forgot that was his name. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the French way.
Du Bois?
I think you'd say it Dubois.
Du Bois?
It is Du Bois, though.
Du Bois.
Du Bois. We them boys.
Was a serial killer with a victim count in the double digits, with all the murderers taking place over the course of nearly 4 decades.
It's a long time.
right? That would get national attention, of course, especially since Brian appeared to be involved in the high-profile disappearance of a college freshman last year. The body cam footage of their dramatic rescue from the mines even made the rounds on social media. For about 2 days.
That sounds
Let's
about right.
go!
That sounds correct.
At the same time, a pandemic was picking up steam. It's a good thing this is fiction. And media attention forced.
How did they know?
How did they know? Focused there instead. Cameron didn't mind. That lack of attention made his recovery much easier. His burst. Bustle! Liver was severely damaged, and severely damaged kidney had left him needing surgery. The hospital did what they could for his elbow, and his doctors were hopeful that with a lot of physical therapy, he could at least use it for basic necessities. While it did suck to maybe never be able to bend his elbow correctly, or without pain, what really devastated Cameron was the weakness and near maddening tingling in his pinky and ring fingers. So from now, despite him being eager to get back to his guitar, was an absolute no. For now. But what about forever? On top of that, Cameron had been trying to banish that damn voice from his head. No, the negative thoughts from his head, right? Just a flashback, one of the shitty leftovers from his shroom trip. Either way, all he could do was try to ignore it, despite it making itself known at least once a day. Cameron! Cameron! Something's wrong!
You just want him to sound like fucking Beavis.
Cameron! Something's wrong. I'm in a little bit. But things continued to feel strange. It didn't seem to be related to his ESP, because he could easily tell when that was happening. Ever since the shroom trip, a haze of psychic ability lingered around him, allowing him to capture thoughts and feelings seemingly at random. Downloading? Okay, is what some people like him like to call it.
See, he would download a car.
He would.
He would download a car.
I'm gonna download a car and 3D print it.
What are you gonna do? Stop me?
He didn't have much control, though. Sometimes he wasn't even able to tell if the download he was receiving was from the living or the dead. Cameron even began to try and hone his abilities and experiment with just how much he could do. What he quickly figured out was that without some sort of illicit substance, his clairvoyance lacked a great deal of fuel that had powered his abilities in Echo. We'll just go back. That would make it easier, and so would being in an active location like Echo, of course.
Of course. That all makes sense. The lake.
Oh my god. It's very good. Very good.
This is a good view.
I like this background.
It's pretty good.
It's calming, you know.
Some might say that. Some might say.
I mean, I'm weirdly nostalgic for the backgrounds in Echo.
I get it. I 100% absolutely.
Whatever motel they got that shot of, I want to be in that motel room.
I want to go there.
I want to go there.
I gotta find it.
They have an old DirecTV, like the old 2000s era.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, I remember those.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Echo Dev, what hotel is it? I know you're listening.
Oh my
tell
God,
us, tell us what it is.
No.
So we could go.
None of them are listening. It's fine. It's fine. Echo is one of these locations, though, obviously, but there are so many others. He's a desert lake. Every now and then, Cameron would find himself pausing like the back door of Devon's house, as a chill ran down his spine. That feeling always meant an echo was attached to something somewhere else. That's what Cameron called the beings, not exactly intelligent or even living, but entities that interacted with and usually threatened the living. In that particular case, it emanated from under the back porch. When he told Devin about it, the bear knew immediately what Cameron was talking about.
Oh yeah, I did. I'd heard something moving under there all the time, like a person crawling around. Even Dad said he saw red eyes under there once.
Oh. Gotta use these backgrounds.
Hey, we're going through it. It's a trip down memory lane.
It's true.
All the memories we made
Mm-hmm.
in Echo this time. Again, more memories.
Right. You know, it's like the final dungeon in Silent Hill, where
We just
you revisit every location. You know?
Pretty good.
Being more sensitive doesn't exactly answer questions, though. Like, why is it there? Where did it come from? What the hell is it? All he knows is that it's not a person, and it never was a person, because they're all demons. And while Cameron had seen that old spark of interest in Devin's eyes, he had told Cameron to just ignore it and focus on their visits for now. Devin just wanted everything to go away quietly, like it never happened. That included Cameron's abilities. That was at the end of the second week, and over the course of his life, Cameron would look back on that visit as one of the last times he was truly himself. He's a trailer home in the Southwest. Oh.
That one.
That one right there.
That one there.
Get him.
I like it. It's got one of them chairs, dude.
I do like those chairs. I hate sitting in them.
I like throwing them. They're very throwable.
They're very breakable.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you got a fat ass like me. You sit down and cracks.
Oh my god.
I've broken more of those chairs just sitting in them than I care to admit.
Yeah?
Yeah. But
They do be
I
that
also
way.
slump into them, you know? I don't gingerly rest my cheeks upon them. I'm like, throw my body
You
into
dead
it.
weight your legs.
I'm just I Gmod die into them and it breaks them sometimes.
Do you think kids today know what Gmod is?
They kind of have to, because Skibbity Toilet is like a Gmod thing, I think.
Is it? I thought more kids today know what Roblox is.
They do, but like...
Isn't that the replacement?
Not really.
Like the cultural equivalent.
I would say it's very similar.
Yeah.
I think kids enough still know what some like know what Gmod is to a degree, but people aren't making like TF2 SFMs anymore, you know? In Gmod. They're not doing
Anyone
that
remember those days?
anymore.
The big competitions of TF2 SFMs.
So good.
They weren't. By the third week, Cameron was recovering at a remarkable rate, and so Devin began to pay Artie more visits and phone calls. Arturo's improvement was also rapid, but Cameron was left feeling a little sad that Artie never asked to talk to him, and would only ask Devin how the coyote was holding up. It made sense, he would tell himself. Devin and Artie go back further than even Devin and himself did. Sure, something had felt off, but considering the circumstances, nothing was normal at the time. But as the third week progressed, what had been bubbling below the surface made itself fully known. Well, the only thing that seemed to be getting back to normal were his dreams. Sometimes he'd still wake up whimpering or crying like a bitch, thinking he was back in Echo. Why would you be crying? I'd be like, yo,
let's go to
It's
the diner.
Echo.
We're gonna go see the diner.
Right?
Go eat there. Yeah, that's probably closed. And Janice is probably
I mean, like,
long dead.
small town life is always like the small town upbringing that you see in media always fascinated me. I think because that lifestyle was impossible for me to experience. I moved around too much.
It's such a novelty.
And was too blended in different cultures for me to like. So I always saw the American small town life in media, but that was like,
you're like, wow.
and I could like see it happening in towns I've lived in, but like never experienced that myself.
Right.
You know,
I mean, like where we settled out and kind of grew up a little bit, it like
was almost there.
But
like it could.
By that time, the town was already kind of a little too big for that.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, yeah, he would still be in Echo, whimpering like a bitch. Devin had it far worse, waking up in a howling panic, yelling about guns, chains, and death. Those were the times when Cameron did his best to give comfort and support, at least as best as his patched up and sore body could manage. But now, with some time between him and what happened, Cameron feels like a part of him is missing, like he's not fully present. Like he's pieces of himself. Like it's pieces of him litter the town of his trauma. It felt like he was still there, in a way, and when that feeling really started to set in, that's when it happened. A small pressure in his right ear started to develop. It was something that he was sure had to do with the hearing loss he had experienced from the shotgun blast. It was irritating, and it felt bizarre. They had set up another appointment with Cameron's audiologist a few weeks from then. The hearing loss was likely permanent, and then something began to replace it. Right in the middle of the afternoon. Oh.
What is it?
Okay, new background.
Oh, a cute little kitchen.
New background. April 2020. I remember my April of 2020.
I was going to ask, what were you doing in April 2020?
Painting.
Nice. For like school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was doing a lot of that. I was doing a lot of like the arts and crafts.
Mm-hmm. The arts and crafts.
Yeah.
We like that.
It do be that way. Cameron starts working again that week. He wants to feel useful again, and because they're both working from home now, it seems like a reasonable idea. Devin didn't want him starting yet, of course, but Cameron wants that sense of normalcy to come back faster, and his shitty job had seemed like a perfect solution. Trying to work with mostly one paw does come as a bigger challenge than Cameron had expected, not realizing how much he used his non-dominant one. Typing is particularly slow, but he was getting better at managing it. Still, it makes him sluggish, and even though his boss is understanding and telling him to just forward any rude customers her way, it still leaves him occasionally flustered in ways he isn't used to. After a rather harsh call that begins with, "Thank God, someone I can finally fucking understand," then ends with, "You know what would have been faster?"
Amazing.
No, let's go. Cameron waits for the answer. Anything. This is the last time I buy some chink-ass phone made in some factory. Oh, very good. Cameron rubs his eyes, wondering how different the interaction would be if they did face-to-face video calls.
Probably not very.
I would hate to see them, though.
I know, I wouldn't want to see them either. I wouldn't want that whatsoever.
This phone was actually assembled in the States after Julian pledged. It's not the answer the man wants to hear. Cameron can tell before he even gets cut off. "Transfer me to your superior, please." Of course. One moment. As Cameron reaches for the button to his boss's line, he hears the man muttering under his breath. Didn't know they hired retards for customer service. Oh. It's okay, Cammy boy.
It's okay, Cammy boy.
Yeah. No big deal, : he would get one of those every week.
I think it's supposed to be get. He would get.
Okay. Not gets.
No.
Not Gex.
It could be Gex. He could be here. When is Gex going to show up in the Echoverse? The fuck?
Ooh.
Like, I want a spooky mystery spy thriller with Gex.
Mm-hmm.
Like think Glory Hounds mixed with Echo, but with Gex. What if Gex just shows up in Glory Hounds? Oh shit! I've cracked the code. I know the next update.
Oh my god!
It's gonna be another
man.
reptile.
So I saw this curse thing on the website formerly known as Twitter. And it was like Gex topping a flustered and angry Bubsy, and I'm like, I kind of like it. The energy is something I like.
It sounds correct. you got your C-list mascot characters. Well, Gex is like C-list, Bubsy's like D tier.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Bubsy got a new game.
That's fair. Gex hasn't gotten shit.
I think Gex is getting remasters.
I would play the shit out of Gex. Yeah, let's go. That's so important.
It is. He would get one of those every week, and according to his coworkers, it's gotten worse since the pandemic started. I can't imagine working in customer service post-pandemic.
Yeah, I mean,
on one of those
for
jobs.
his level of job, yeah. I mean, even just like standard retail, it's kind of impossible.
Ooh, yeah.
Like my work has always been a little more specialized, so I kind of deal with a bit less of that kind of bullshit. And people just don't get mad at me, really. So
yeah, that's true. But why did that one hurt his feelings so badly to the point that his eyes were welling up with tears? Maybe it's because he went through hell and back, and that man has no idea. No idea.
Ooh.
Very good. Is that a microwave? Or is that a TV?
That is a microwave.
How would you reach it?
Is
this a full?
Yeah, you walk between.
Okay, is this a full island?
I think it's a corner island. Yeah, and you walk between the two.
Okay.
Yeah,
this doesn't extend to the wall. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it did, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
try to reach you.
You work for your fucking microwave, bro. That's what you get for not being rich and getting one of those weird drawer microwaves. You seen them shits?
What? It's a drawer microwave.
So like you push the button and it like slides out of the counter and you set your food down in it and it closes back. Yeah, this shit's so weird, dude. It's so strange.
Rich people are weird.
Yeah, it's so true. They have adjustable racks in their dishwasher. That is a different class of fucking. That's a different.
I can't imagine
bracket.
using it. I've never used a dishwasher.
Like
I've never used one in my life.
It's convenient.
I don't know.
You just put them in, you boop boop boop, and clean.
No, I sit there with a sponge and like.
Yeah, I had to do that with my first apartment because I didn't have a dishwasher.
Then his computer screen seemed to stretch far away, and Cameron finds himself grabbing the edge of his desk like he's about to fall over. Pressure grows in his right ear, and he realizes that maybe that's what's causing the strange feeling of being off balance as the world tilts. But no, he's tripping again. It's a flashback. Just a flashback. No, it's brain damage, and you'll probably feel like this forever. Brian poisoned you. Cameron holds very still, a positive he didn't think those thoughts just now. And you are a fucking retard. Can't handle a literal customer stereotype. Just smash the keyboard and admit you can't work anymore. Cameron bringing a paw to his right ear, where the voice comes from. In his headset. Is his headset still on, or... No. You can tell it's coming from inside of your head, you idiot. You stupid fuck. Worthless.
Why is Samuel being so mean?
Well, like, is that Sammy?
I'm just assuming it's Sammy.
It could be just a voice.
It could... I mean, I would believe that could be, like, an angry, dead, old Samuel. Because of how he dies, I would just be pissed off at literally everybody, too. Are you kidding me, dude? I would be so mad.
But what a story.
Nobody knows how he died.
Well, you could, like, yuck it up with other ghosts.
Nah. He was in his 70s by then. He's just old. Samuel's just an angry old man. Yeah. And then he turned and died into an angry old man ghost.
Yeah.
So he's just a
Do you know how many old man boomer ghosts are angry about their death? They probably have a club.
They probably
have their own country in Ghostland.
True. I could see that.
After that, Cameron remembers very little except panic, followed by confusion. A ton of confusion! His thoughts make no sense. The voice, that is definitely not his thoughts, doesn't make sense. And now he doesn't understand where he is. The voice continues to encourage him to smash the keyboard, so he does, just to see if maybe it will break this bizarre half-dream. Devin, in his own study, hears this. After finding Cameron sobbing on the ground, surrounded by black plastic keycaps and bleeding from reopening stitches, a frantic Devin drives him to the hospital. Cameron!
He's having a time of it, that's for sure.
Like, do you know how much that's gonna cost?
Hey.
to replace that gamer keyboard.
His little RGB.
Yeah. God damn it. It do be what it is. Maybe I'll stop if you grab the wheel and turn into the median.
Incredible. This is called schizophrenia. My boy.
Is it?
He is now schizophrenic. That is absolutely what's happening.
I don't know. Sometimes I think about this with Surprise Drive
Surprise Drive
at full blast. Going
all
like,
you need is drive.
like, okay, but like, no, Kamen Rider Drive's still good, guys. It's still good. It's mid as fuck. That means it's good.
That means it's good for a Kamen Rider. That's great.
It's great. For old time's sake. That's a good one. That's a good line.
Yeah, just
I like
drive
that.
to the median for old time's sake.
Yeah.
That is a good. That does sound like a good song line, actually.
I was thinking that for like an episode title.
For old time's sake.
No, the whole line.
Driving to the median for old time's sake.
Yeah.
All right, right.
I wanna start having episode titles of shows being as long as Kiznivers. If anyone has ever looked at how long the episode titles in Kizniver are, which are like whole ass paragraphs, it's 10 out of 10.
The way it should be.
Right. And he doesn't even need a fucking fan. Look, Mom, no fans. Oh my god. The voice snickers. It continues to laugh at him all the way to the psychiatric ward.
We love that. Got it.
Nailed it.
Got it in one. Are we going to see Cammy Boy all swept up in a straitjacket?
Do I click again? Oh.
Oh.
Hey, your washing machine is done.
Yeah, I can hear it.
October of 2020.
Wow.
What were you doing in October of 2020?
Probably working.
Okay.
Like, literally, my work never stopped and never changed due to the pandemic. Like, ever.
Your lifestyle did not change.
My lifestyle did not change whatsoever. I don't know what all these people were crying about for years.
Years? It was like half a year. Yeah, because lockdown was only like half a year, wasn't it?
No, it was like a year.
No, it wasn't.
Well, yeah.
Because everything opened up like the next fall.
The next fall, yeah. It was like 8 months.
Yeah.
Something
I think
like
it was
that.
less than that. Because it was like spring and then everything was back open in fall.
Right. Like, oh, it's cold. Stuff doesn't transmit anymore. Haha.
Yeah.
But
hilarious.
Amazing. No. I was pretty normal. Pretty normal
Did
schedule.
we have public Halloween that year?
No.
It's canceled?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We definitely had no parties, no nothing. Although I think I went to a party in Halloween. I was pretty good, honestly.
Look at you
as far as
spreading the pandemic.
As far as like, I was good for a lot of it, and then I like went on vacation.
I was that person that was just cartwheeling in the street.
Yeah, true.
I was like, yo, no one's here.
Yeah,
I loved going to Walmart.
It was pretty cool.
It was just empty.
It was kind of sick going places.
It was lit. It was
no
so
one was
lit.
there,
and like gas prices crashed. And so it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive around.
I was so happy because, like, I was driving, kind of from here to back to your town when I worked at that time.
Yeah,
and gas prices dropped to like $1.25.
Oh, I know.
And my car, I'm like, boop. Oh, I fill up for like $5, and I was like, I'm gonna come.
Yeah, now you have to pay the price of a AAA video game to fill up your car.
True. I mean, not my car. Most other people.
Yeah. It takes like $20.
My car got small tank.
At
most,
I have a
it's
small
like
tank.
30. So thankfully,
Right. It is what it is. We'll end the part here, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys around.